Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I am making vɔlovɑ filled with red caviar and smoked salmon. This exquisite appetizer could be a showstopper at your New Year's party and to be served with champagne. A vɔlovɑ, French for windblown or blown by the wind, to describe its lightness, is a small hollow case of puff pastry. It was formerly also called a patty case, and you can make them all different sizes and fill them with whatever you want, mostly with savory things. So today I am going for red caviar and smoked salmon. Let's get started. You're going to need 1 pound of puff pastry sheets that are usually sold in the freezer section in any supermarket. You need to take it out and leave it on the counter for about 40 minutes before we start working with it. This puff pastry case contains 2 puff pastry sheets. Dust your table surface or a silicone mat with just a little bit of flour. We're gonna take 1 sheet out and we're gonna work with one first and then leave the other one out. As you can see, it comes like a square. It has a little bit of flour on it, which would be easier for us to roll it out because we need to roll it out to 1/8 of an inch thick. I'm planning to make 20 Volovans, so this would be perfect. To cut out our vɔlovas, we're gonna need 2 round pastry cutters with one edge being scalloped and the other side of the pastry cutter is being straight. The large one is going to be 2.5 inches in diameter and a small one is going to be 1.5 inches in diameter. So we're just going to cut it with the scalloped edge, 20 little circles. And guys, notice you cannot reuse this dough, and I will show to you why. So we're gonna place them on lined baking sheet and we're gonna continue cutting out the edges for our vɔlovas so they look like little cases. And then we're gonna work with our second piece of puff pastry. We're gonna roll it out the same way to 1/8 of an inch thick, and then we're gonna cut also 20 of the scalloped edge circles. The size I chose for my vɔlovas is a perfect size for an appetizer. If you're planning to fill them up with something a little bit more substantial like an egg salad or a crab salad, you can definitely make them a larger in diameter. To make borders for our vɔlovas, we're going to use a small cutter this time and a straight edge. This will allow us to have a little bit bigger opening so we can fill them up. We're also going to need 1 egg to brush our vɔlovas, but I want to show you a little trick. If you just brush your pastry with an egg yolk, it will come out darker and glossier. And if you brush it with the whole egg, it will come out light. So I'm going in between. I'm using 1 egg and I'm gonna discard a little bit of the white and use the rest for brushing. So we're gonna brush each of the bottoms of our vɔlovas with this egg mixture, and so they don't rise up when they baked as much because we need them as straight as possible. We're just gonna puncture them with the fork, and then we're gonna place the borders on our vɔlovas and also brush them with the egg. And if you want them to be a little bit higher, then you can place 2 borders on top, not just 1. This way our puff pastry cases will come out very, very high. But be careful because puff pastry has a tendency to deform when it's baked. So the higher you make them, you might get just a little deformed vɔlovas. So I would go with 1 border. And the little circles that we cut out, we can also bake because we can use them as little hats for our vɔlovas if we want to cover them. Bake your puff pastry cases at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 to 15 minutes or until they all puffed up and slightly brown on the edges. Then just place it on a counter and let them cool completely before you fill them up. To make more room for filling, you can take the handle of the wooden spoon and slightly push the middle down. This way you have a much bigger opening. And remember, I told you do not re-roll the scraps from the puff pastry. Here's a great example. The one on the left did not rise a lot. That was made from the scraps. And the one on the right is fully rised. The little circles that we also baked can be used as plugs for your vɔlovas, and then you can surprise your guests with guess what's inside. Next, I'm gonna show you a great filling for your vɔlovas. In Russian, we say vɔlovany. I'm gonna use a cream cheese filling. I'm gonna use a small tub of whipped cream. You can use a regular cream cheese, but I like the whipped one. And to make it a little bit more kind of like a mousse consistency, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of heavy whipping cream. I'm gonna mix it together and look how glossy and beautiful it looks. And just to add a little bit of interest to this filling, besides it's being plain cream cheese, I'm gonna add some chopped chives to it, which makes it totally so French. I'm gonna mix it together and then we're gonna transfer this filling into a piping bag. And you can just spoon it out, but I think when it's piped out, it just looks so much prettier. And here it comes, red caviar. In Russian, we say ikra. And ikra can only be touched by certain spoons, not metal spoons, because they will change the taste of it. It's either mother of pearl spoon or any type of animal horn spoon. I think this one is from buffalo. And I also gonna use the smoked salmon, and I believe the one I using today is a sockeye, which is a wild salmon, Alaskan salmon. Salmon has a very beautiful red color, so we're gonna cut it into strips and roll it a certain way so you can get a small rose out of it, and then we can place this rose inside our vɔlovans. Then we're gonna fill them up with our cream cheese filling, and look how beautiful it looks. You can just serve them like that and use these little hats I show you to cover them up, and not to serve them with a red caviar, but I think serving it with smoked fish, a smoked salmon, and a red caviar makes it very exquisite appetizer. And red caviar is a must in my house for New Year's. I don't know why, might be a Russian thing or something. So we're just gonna fill these guys up and decorate them with dill, and you can enjoy them or really impress your guests. Look how beautiful they look. I hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.